Stimulus and social media. How your interaction on social media about second stimulus could ultimately get you the checks. Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Evenings LALATE. Hope you're good and safe. This is an Evenings LALATE special about social media and how your tweeting, Facebook posts, and Instagram tags have all impacted and will ultimately get you your second stimulus checks, enhanced unemployment benefits, and rent eviction protection, along with all other things that we've talked about on this channel, including hazard pay. Let me recap what has happened in really just the last 3 days. On Saturday, I said I had really had enough, and there's nothing worse than when the purple guy has had enough. I had had enough with a lot of the crap that I had heard from Republicans saying that they would do a standalone bill, but had not written a standalone bill. And if you watch the video right before this one, I said, hey, tonight we're back to the old game. They did not write a standalone bill, and Mark Meadows this afternoon told CBS, or maybe this morning, told CBS this morning, you know what, let's just do a slender bill, and let's put 5 things in it. Gone was the standalone bill thing again. It's that lack of accountability, whether you're Republican or Democrat, that has prevented the stimulus debate package from being approved. Also, the lack of civility and the lack of respect to people that you're negotiating with has also eroded the negotiations. Nancy Pelosi today called, the 2 people she's negotiating the room with, Steve Mnuchin and Mark Meadows, enemy of the state. Public enemy number 1. We need to organize and mobilize against these people. Do you think someone's going to even stay in the room with you, let alone negotiate? Well, social media reacted to her statement. Republicans and Democrats were not happy. As you know, this is the Purple Channel. We are not partisan. We call out bad behavior by Republicans and Democrats. And the bad behavior now is being checked by you. Ultimately, the best checks and balances, for choice of a bad expression, about bad behavior and knocking your second stimulus checks, enhanced unemployment benefits, hazard pay, and rent eviction protection has been social media. On Saturday, you absolutely ramped up the heat with the trending hashtags, LALATE write the bill. It's no different now and won't be any different tomorrow. If ultimately the Republicans refuse to do anything as a standalone bill and changes their course of action, if ultimately all the Democrats are a bunch of wusses and no one wants to stand up to Nancy Pelosi and just wants to roll over, or is that one Democrat, Correa from Anaheim, said, this is really hard to watch. I'm like, you're not paid to watch. You're paid to do something, Correa. You're from Anaheim. I mean, this is not the Mickey Mouse ride through the Magic Kingdom. You're supposed to push the ride, and if it's broken, you're supposed to get out the wrench and start fixing it. Yeah, I'm going into that. The point is, you need to call out bad behavior, and you need to get people moving. And it appears that it's working. Here's what's going on. What's going on is that there are 2 fronts that get you your stimulus check. Actually there's 3 fronts. The first front is news media. If news media does not talk about stimulus checks, does not talk about stimulus, it's going to disappear. It's literally going to evaporate. Because who is going to push for it? Nancy's not pushing for it. She said wait till January. Yeah, we're homeless then, Nancy. We're homeless and on the street and catching COVID. The Republicans, claim that that's their new focus, but we got to remember the Republicans of just 2 months ago. Mitch McConnell, don't come to me with stimulus. You're all trying to get rich off the welfare state. I mean, you have to be skeptical of the Republicans because just 2 months ago they said they didn't want to give you anything, and then Mitch's HEALS Act was all big business stuff. It wasn't anything for small people. So you have to take everything with a grain of salt. But the people who call them on their actions are news reporters. When you see broadcasts on this channel that you agree with, that pushes the envelope, that starts the discourse, you need to tag your favorite broadcaster, whether it's Chris Cuomo or Don Lemon or people you watch on Fox News, if you like Fox News, or people you watch. I'm not saying that sarcastically. Some viewers on this channel like to watch different things. Fox News or MSNBC or whoever you watch, local news, you need to tag your local news reporters and say, hey, why aren't you talking about stimulus? And I don't mean, some broadcasters are too small an operation, local news. They can't book Mark Meadows for an interview. He's so important. And I clearly understand, Mark Meadows will only do CBS, NBC, and ABC, or CBS, and a few others. So they're not going to book him. But that doesn't mean that local news can't cover stimulus. And so you need to push the envelope by tagging broadcast news reporters, your favorite print reporters or print news, and say, hey, how about stimulus? Tag Don Lemon. Here's that kid LALATE. Don, book this kid LALATE on your show and have him talk about stimulus. What's going on with people's stimulus? It's enough already. People need to talk about things. It's an old adage, if you don't talk about it, it won't happen. And the way you're talking about it is on social media. That's the first step. And it's such an incredible achievement. You don't understand your incredible achievement that you have reached in the last 3 days is astronomical. And you should be so proud of yourself. As a family and as a cohesive group of people, that we look at one another and we don't know if one or another is Republican or Democrat. We don't know if you're rich or poor. We don't know if you're homeless or have a home. We don't know if you are in a rural area or in a city. You're all fighting for the same thing, which is absolutely amazing. And that's because you're tired of crap. You're tired of people just not being honest to you. You're tired of people not giving you things that you're entitled to. Now, it's going to change a lot in the next few weeks because we're so close to the election, and there's something very obvious that's going on. And the obvious thing that's going on is that between Biden and Trump, neither have really put out a stimulus agenda. If you ask me what is Biden's position on second stimulus checks, don't know. What's Biden's position on enhanced unemployment benefit? Don't know. What's his position on a rent eviction moratorium? Don't know. Yeah, we can all talk about Kamala Harris had that $2,000 bill every month as $2,000, but she's VP. She's not deciding policy. He is. So, but then you have Trump doing the same thing. Trump today said biggest job growth ever this week. There was no job growth this week. Unemployment benefits were at 1 million again this week. So, but did he talk about stimulus checks? No. Did he talk about, but he has in recent weeks. So we never know why or when things happen. But when you put the pressure, when you tag journalists, when you tag your broadcast news reporters, they realize, oh, I haven't talked about that subject. I have to talk about it. I have to talk about it because I got 85 tweets in the last hour asking me what's going on with stimulus. And I have Mark Meadows on today. I forgot, I didn't ask him that. Let me ask Kellyanne Conway when she's on tomorrow, whoever they're booking. Actually, let me use her as an example. In that interview today with CBS Morning News with Mark Meadows, where they did ask for stimulus and put stimulus in the title and put stimulus in the body of the article and put stimulus all over it, so you saw, hey, it's a stimulus coverage. Great. I mean, that's what you want. They also wanted to spend 15 minutes asking about Kellyanne Conway's, personal life at home. You don't want to hear that Kellyanne Conway's personal life is taking news coverage away from your stimulus check. That's what's so important. You don't want to hear that, something that's so unimportant to your livelihood is taking front page away from you. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing that's really important with social media is that ultimately, a lot of these elected officials have, let's say, 20,000 followers or 30,000 followers. When you have 20 or 30,000 followers, you see You see 500 tweets a day. You literally see them. Because your account is smaller and because you don't follow a lot of people, you will see an avalanche of tweets hitting you. It's when you have a larger account, like you're in the 800 or 900, 700,000 or 300 or 400,000, that if you start to get a lot of tweets, you may not still notice them because you normally just get a lot of tweets at you. But those smaller representatives, those representatives in Congress, those senators in Congress, those elected officials, they see your responses because they don't really have big social media followings usually. Additionally, and this is sort of an offset of social media, is that when you email them on their website, they see the comments. When you contact them, they see the comments. I mean, every time that you see a congressional sub-panel and you see them asking constituents in my jurisdiction that this and constituent, that's because they got 100 to 200 complaints complaining about EIDL from the constituents in their jurisdiction. So they asked Javita Carranza, what are you doing with this? I'm getting all these complaints from people about these things. You got to understand that congressional leaders are in a bubble. They're generally sometimes out of touch, and they don't know what's going on unless someone tells them. And they think they know what's going on, but they really don't. A lot of them have never worked a day in their life. They're career politicians. Some of them were intellectuals, and so they never were, out in the commonplace. They went from education right into politics and right into office, and so they don't know what's going on. They don't have their ears and feet on the floor. They're in D.C. They're not back in their home states enough. Their regional officers may not tell them a lot, and so they may not know what's going on. And when they hear outcries from you on social media, where is the stimulus check? Write the bill. Write the bill. LALATE, write the bill. Then they realize something's going on. This goes back to the early days of this channel with the donut guy, because when I said the donut guy is that character that sits in the lazy reclining chair and has his donut in his hand and says, I don't care about stimulus, just when it's in my account I'll worry about it, otherwise I don't want to hear about it. Or he says something like, I'll believe it when it's in my bank account. Well, guess what? It's never going to be in your bank account, because if that is the level of your interest in the situation, it may never land in your bank account because you didn't do your non-filer filing, or you allowed Congress to run you ragged. Now, I fully understand that a lot of you did not expect to have to lobby Congress to give you relief, that you just thought that, hey, I suffered a pandemic. I was on lockdown. Isn't that a little bit obvious that I should be getting checks? Why should I have to be hustling your ass to get my damn checks? But that's really where we are now. It's really where we are now. And I didn't really think that we'd be this way 2 months ago. I mean, I really didn't think that way. So if you're one of those people that sort of says, okay, let me give you an example. If you're one of those people who a month ago was dropping the comments, it's never gonna happen because it hasn't happened yet. Okay, just give up. Give up. There's a door out there. You can go give up. If you're the person who thought that enhanced unemployment benefits were going to expire in July and you never see a penny after that, it's going to expire in July. President can't extend it. I'm never going to see another penny after July of FPUC or anything like FPUC. It's just not going to happen. Okay, negative nanny over there. Well, he did. Never going to see an eviction moratorium. It's just never going to happen. He's never going to do anything like that. Over there. Today, student loan debts extended. Today, LWA revealed by FEMA will be paying more weeks than ever thought. A lot of good news came out today. And so for every negative nanny, there's always an element of great news. And that great news is what we share with one another on social media. And so social media also empowers us and gives us strength. FEMA announced today that at least 3 weeks will be paid to all half U.S. states that applied. There's half of the United States have applied and been approved, that they will get 3 weeks, guaranteed. And some may get 4 weeks, a total change from what FEMA said just a few days ago. So that's incredibly great news. Today also, Betsy DeVos, my most unfavorite person in the world, followed what the president's executive order said a few weeks ago about loans and established that no student debts may be repaid. No student debts have to be repaid until next year. No interest will accrue. No penalties will be pending. No principal will be due. Really great news. So there is progress. And so what I want you to understand and feel is that you need to get on social media. You need to get on Facebook. You need to get on Twitter. You need to tag these posts with your politician. You just share them with your elected official and say, hey, this is my concern. Humanize it. Humanize it. I don't know everything about you. You humanize it. Add what you have to say. I'm homeless, Senator. I'm homeless. And please watch this video. We need enhanced unemployment benefits. We need this. Had I had that, I would not have been homeless. They need to hear your stories. Because ultimately, if no one tells them the stories, what are they going to know? Are they going to care? There's caring people in Congress. We've seen a lot that don't care. But there are caring people. And the louder you do it, the more effective it'll be. I hope you enjoyed this special. If you did, drop in the comments below. And also, go to the front of this channel. You know, the excitement of this channel has been really great over the last 3 days. On Saturday, I said, let's try to add 25,000 new subscribers. We've added 11,000. I said 25,000 in 2 weeks. That was the call to duty. We reached 200,000 subscribers last week in 3.5 months, which no one ever has done in the history of YouTube, which is incredible, testament to you. And I said on Saturday, let's try to add 25,000 more. I guess we had 11,000 within 48 hours. So, hey, let's keep it going. Coming up tomorrow morning, this morning's LALATE. There'll be excitements, there'll be good stuff, and there'll be fun. So I'm going to keep it positive. You stay positive. You take care of yourself. Have you in my wishes. And as always, stay with LA for more.